Now, I think from the very beginning, we mentioned the fact that we came here last year, we had some interesting conversations, we left here with some actions, we've actually acted on these actions, and we want to see the way forward. At this point, I want to invite Mary Afenyi Abeka, along with 4 of the collaborative members, to give us a short report back on what they have done over the last year. So Mary, please come. I also want to call on King David Amo, if he is here. King David Amo, Anna Samake, Gifty Ku, and Femi Adewumi, if he's also here. Please come and kindly have a seat for me. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Justin. I'm missing Gifty. I think she just got up. Oh, there she is. Okay. So at the last ESO Forum, we identified 5 gaps that were holding back the ecosystem and proposed 5 solutions that could help fill these gaps. This included increasing the quality of enterprise support, increasing sustainable financing, creating a shared language to drive collaboration, and increasing the visibility of the ESO programs so that entrepreneurs can easily access these programs and also understand what programs that are available to support their business to scale. And so I'll turn to my ESO collaborative members. David will speak on the ESO Pooled Fund, which is a mechanism or a fund that we are designing to increase financing for ESOs. Anna will speak on the Scale Quality Program that we've adopted. Gifty will speak on the shared language that we are creating to drive collaboration, and Femi will share on the digital platform that we have developed. Yes. So over to you, David.
Hi, good morning. We're excited to be here this morning. Like you said, it's been an interesting journey since the conversation started last year, and there's been action on it. For us at the ESO Collaborative, the Pooled Fund Action Group, we have been able to work on the design of a $16.5 million fund, which basically works in 2 parts. So the first part happens to be a $10 million pre-seed fund. And you realize that in the first half of the conversations, there was conversations around pre-seed, especially the business around pre-seed stage. What is in for you? We have good news. This $10 million pre-seed fund is going to focus on investment into the high growth potential businesses, especially those coming out of the ESO collaborative support programs. So if we have these, our members who are running these programs, the pre-seed investment is for these businesses with high potential coming out of these businesses. So ESO collaborative members in Ghana, this is what we are looking at. Secondly, that is for the second part of the fund, is a $6.5 million pipeline building grant fund for ESOs. The goal is to help us to strengthen our own capacity. I think Daniel mentioned about what is the capacity of us as ESOs to support other entrepreneurs. This fund is going to first help us to build our own capacity. Secondly, it will help us to execute high-quality enterprise support programs, because this is going to be very important in building a robust enterprise ecosystem. Thirdly, it is supposed to help us to build a pipeline of investment-ready businesses. And again, you heard Josiah talk about the fact that he will send somebody to AMA, and AMA will send the person back, that they are not investor-ready. The third thing is to help us to build a quality pipeline of investment-ready businesses. And finally, it is to also help us to generate sustainable revenue streams as ESO collaborative members. We here are so excited that we took this initiative, and we're certainly looking forward to the fact that we'll continue to collaborate. I think today's keyword has been collaboration. So we look forward to being more collaborative and to bring this fund to life. And that is the update when it comes to the ESO Collaborative Pooled Fund Action Group. Thank you very much.
Okay, morning everyone. As you just heard, we want to set up a fund in such ways that we want to support our members. But what are the standards and the elements that we're going to measure to choose those who have access to that fund. So it was very important that we have a system through which we can really measure which are the best of the programs that should be having access to that fund. So at last forum, we committed to use one single measuring system, which is scale, that will give us the possibility to identify the best of the ESOs and the best of the ESOs that are providing us with that pipeline of deals for the different funds, but also for other fund managers that are in this room or out of this room. So how do we improve the quality of the programs? Scale will help us as we started putting into action the scale, in fact, at my organization level. And I can assure you, it will open your eyes on what you're really good at doing and where you're not good at. And maybe you will have to choose as an organization, because you are SME also, that there are some things that you're not good at, so you shouldn't be doing, and you focus on what you are very good at, and so that can give you much more results. And since then, we have identified partners to test the scale among ourselves. And I think that 28 organizations showed interest in participating in the program, in testing the scale, and 18 completed a diagnostic, and we'll be having a training session, I think, this afternoon. To tell you the truth, my organization is a bit particular. We don't only give support to entrepreneurs through accelerator programs, but we also have programs to support ESOs. Because in most of the programs we implement, like what we're doing in the north of Ghana, we realize that we have to build the capacity of the ESOs to build sustainability after the program. Because if we don't do that, whatever we're going to do is going to be like zero. It's like going backwards. So we ended up also designing programs to support ESOs and consultants that work with entrepreneurs. In fine, the scale resources are really available. They are free, and it's available online. Please, we've already started using them. Just download, and I think this afternoon you will have more information on how you're going to be able to use the scale program in your different organization. And I think this is a great opportunity, because I think Josiah was talking about standards, right? How do you build standards? You have to measure performance to build standards. And based on the performances, we can decide from our fund who's going to receive support or not, because we cannot finance everybody. So we want to finance the best, those who propose really relevant programs to entrepreneurs. So please participate actively in this afternoon session so you can implement eventually scale in your organizations.
Okay, just to continue from Anna and where King left off. So this morning we've all been hearing the buzzword collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. So for the ESOs to be able to work and achieve maximum effort, we see ourselves as a space that creates the favorable platform for businesses to be able to have that shared impact, because we provide the platform for them to build skills and also access resources for their business growth. So having a common understanding on what we within the ecosystem refer to when we talk about ESO or talk about the different things that support the business to grow is very important. And for the common language subcommittee, which is a subset of what the collaborative is doing holistically, understands that if we all have a common understanding and belief, is very critical within the spectrum of what we seek to achieve within the vision of the platform that contributes holistically to the vision of IRGH itself. So the collaborative has this committee. We are happy to have met a couple of times, but it's looking at ensuring that we have an alignment when it comes to language and even the tools and resources that we use as the collaborative and all the adjunct spaces that attribute to the collaborative. So our programs look at the benchmarking components. What do we mean if we talk about collaborating and learning? And then also, what are some of the critical actions that we can set up to drive our work and also invest in partners for a joint growth and a greater impact? So if you look at for the common space, everybody understands what we mean by specific things in different sense, based on where we are coming from within our different spaces. But this subcommittee is looking to bring all this together to have a standardized language that we would use, which contributes to tools that Anna has mentioned, using scale. Because if we are doing our programs and we are calling for potential businesses to join a space, what are some of the metrics we use to evaluate those businesses that come? What I would do in my organization is different from what another person would do. But that is what we are seeking to harmonize, so that there's a standard process that everybody will have to go through when it comes to joining some of these capacity building initiatives that we are all creating. And also emphasizing on Josiah's point, if we do this, there would not be that motivation to be jumping from one place to another, because you definitely be meeting the same set of criteria when you leave MBC and you are going to SCG or you are going to join a seed program, because there would be that standard modus of operandi across each of the ecosystem players within the collaborative. So that is what the common language is seeking to establish. It will also give an opportunity to work with experts like the Agdes Foundation, which are thought leaders in these processes, to build a lot of the resources and lead researches that we can feed into, because we keep talking about some gaps in data and research material. How can the collaborative continue to work collaboratively to contribute to research material that would ensure our growth collectively? And that would not happen if we continue to work haphazardly without having a common understanding of what each and everyone is doing. So the work is continuing to go, is progressing steadily, but also very confidently. Reach out to Mary and Mohammed, that has been leading this space for a while. If you find this aligning or resonate strongly with you, and they would support you on how to join this exciting work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gifty, and I'm just going to borrow from your word about a common shared language, and I'll talk about the common platform that was agreed to be built at the forum last year. And I'm happy to announce that the platform is up and running. The esogana.org, I think you should all go and have a look and browse through and sign up. So the idea behind the platform is one place where all ESOs can share their programs, create visibility for the things that you're doing, so we can all see what each other is doing and see how to support. In the past, when I want to launch a program, I'll reach out to our different hubs and send them my briefs and say, please circulate within your network, and vice versa, they do the same. But this is one way to make that, well, I won't say almost seamless, but near seamless, where a common place where everybody, all the businesses can go and see what programs we're running and decide what to sign up for. If you go to the platform, you see that one of our own programs, the West Africa Challenge, is already being advertised there. So I encourage you, go create an account. I think following this will now be the launch, so I'm just going to hand over to Mary.
Thank you. So at this moment, I would like to call all the ESO collaborative members in the room to kindly rise to your feet as we celebrate and launch the ESO Ghana platform. This digital platform is for all ESOs and businesses, first ESOs to list their programs, and for businesses to access these programs available. So all ESO collaborative members in the room, kindly rise to your feet. This includes the Ghana Hubs Network, Seed, InnoHub, Meripa, Scale Up Africa, and thank you. And I want to take 5 minutes of your time. I want all of us to take out our phones, turn on your camera. We have a QR code on each table that says ESO platform sign up. Kindly scan this QR code. It will download a flyer. I want us to post it on our social media platform, whether LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, with a simple message saying sign up to the ESOGhana.org. We want to invite ESOs, businesses to list their programs and also access these programs, and hashtag ESO Forum 2023. So just 5 minutes. Let's pick out our phones, scan the QR code that says ESO platform sign up, download the image, and let's post on our social media right now with a simple message, sign up to the ESOGhana.org with the hashtag ESO Forum 2023. So I'll give 5 minutes. Whilst we do that, we play the video to launch the platform, to show you how the platform works and how to sign up as an ESO or as a business. We'd like to also note that for ESOs, we have the skill diagnostic tool embedded at the back end. So once you sign up as an ESO and you list a program, you'll be able to use the diagnostic tool to access your program. So 5 minutes. Are you playing the video? So thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to Justina. Thank you to all our ESO collaborative members for this work.
Thank you so much, Mary. I feel we need to celebrate some more. I actually requested for just a quick song to do a celebratory dance. Hamdia says she's a good dancer, but oh, she's not here. Those that dance in their seats can just give us just a minute. Please, you have my song ready, because I mean, with all the hard work in the background to get this going, any beat, just any danceable, let's celebrate 1 year of hard work. We have the skill diagnostic tool ready. We have these collaborative members putting in a lot of work in the background for us to get here. I think it is worth celebrating. Please, if you are having challenges scanning the platform, kindly just give us a wave. Someone would come to your table and please help you with that. Okay, so please, Josie, please, there are some hands here. They are having challenges accessing the platform. Please help them for me. It looks like my multimedia people don't have my song ready, so I'll just have to reserve my party for after the day. Thank you so much, King David Amo. Thank you, Anna Samake. Thank you, Giftiku and Femi Adewomi. I hope I haven't messed up your name. Forgive me if I have. Thank you so much for making the time and for all the hard work. We are so grateful for what you have done. Now we are going to move into our breakout sessions. We are going to move into our breakout session. King, please don't go too far. I think you're the one going to lead us next. Yes. Next on my program, we're going to have a welcome address, a keynote actually by Mr. Kofi Owusu Nkansa, the CEO. Kofi Owusu Nkansa, the CEO of the NEIP. Kofi Ofosu Nkansa, the CEO of the NEIP. Please let's put together our hands for him.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues from the ecosystem. I'm happy to be here once again. Last year I was here. Government is happy to see the stakeholders in the ecosystem continue to roll out innovative programs to complement government efforts as supporting the private sector to grow, because that is the only way we can expand the economy and create jobs for the team and youth. As you know, over the past few years, government has a theme to build a sustainable entrepreneurial nation, to achieve fiscal consolidation, and also to create jobs. And we cannot do this alone. We need the support of the private sector. This theme aligns with the ESO collaborative theme of building a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem towards inclusive growth and sustainable businesses. Various interventions are being undertaken to ignite and unleash the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit of our young people to mark a conscious departure from job seeking towards job creation and ownership. And I think you guys are the fulcrum of this shift that we want to achieve. Because you finish school, instead of joining the bandwagon and chasing jobs in the telcos, the banks, and other service sectors, you start to create something on your own. Also, try to nurture other businesses in the communities who intend to create jobs. And we are very appreciative of those efforts from you, the ESOs especially. The government sees the private sector as an engine for job creation and is therefore stimulating the economy by supporting Ghanaian businesses and entrepreneurs to create jobs. So it's a focus on building an entrepreneurial state that empowers young people to be bold, innovative, proactive, and dynamic to contribute to economic transformation. And how is this being done? Various interventions are being rolled out by the entrepreneurship support agencies of the government to achieve this. We have the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, for instance, which is a $200 million program to help stimulate the private sector. Another one is a Ghana Skills Development Fund, which is being implemented by the Commission for TVET. We also have the Ghana Jobs and Skills Program, under which we've had the Youth Start Phase 1, which is being rolled out by the NEIP and the Ghana Enterprises Agency, and also the GOG-driven Youth Start. The World Bank is also going to support government to roll out the main Youth Start, and they are currently in town. We are expecting board approval in the next few weeks to start the rollout soon. So altogether, NEIP, GA, Venture Capital Trust Fund, the Commission for TVET, these agencies are rolling out about $1 billion enterprise support programs across various sectors of the economy to help stimulate the economy and also create some 1 million jobs in the next 3 years. On our part as NEIP, what are we doing? We are running programs like the HAPS Acceleration Grant Program, which is to ensure effective and efficient implementation of the component 3 of the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, which component is helping to accelerate entrepreneurship and SME growth, and this component is about $80 million. And this is supporting entrepreneurship and SME growth in non-resource-based sectors and addressing the limited development of the SME and entrepreneurship support ecosystem, including early-stage financing. And of course, the World Bank is supporting government to do this program. The NEIP sub-component is a business acceleration fund to support the development of the entrepreneurship ecosystem by providing capacity building to our entrepreneurship and innovation hubs, the ESOs, and to bring the quality of their services up to international standards. So we've had some 30 hubs get between $100,000 and $200,000 to support the operations, to upgrade the infrastructure, to buy more equipment, and also to run accelerator programs for at least 20 startups within their communities. And we are also going to support setting up of 15 more hubs to fill gaps that we have in the various regions. So if we identify that a particular region is, say, an agro-based one, and there isn't any agri hub, then there's a need to set up an agri hub there to support the economy of that region. If you identify a particular region is a TVET one, and there isn't any TVET hub to help nurture startups there, then we will set up a TVET hub there to fill that gap, to help build more TVET startups in that region. And for the existing applicants that we supported, the requirement was that The applicants should have operated as enterprise support organization for at least 3 years. So this was specifically done for the ecosystem, and we made sure the HAPS network and other interested associations participated fully and is being successfully implemented. Technical assistance and capacity building are also being provided to address gaps that are being identified as part of the benchmarking exercise that we are doing with our consultants. So we are even going to undertake a study tour. Some of your members go to Israel, South Africa, to understudy how they run their hubs, their startup act, and other policy enablers in the ecosystem to see how we can learn from the international best practices and come down, adapt some of their best practices to help fill the gaps that we have in our ecosystem. And of course, the support is for ESOs or hubs who do business across the various sectors: agri, technology and innovation, manufacturing and processing, waste and green businesses, technology, technical and vocational education, and others. So whereas NEIP is building the capacity of ESOs under this project, the Ghana Enterprises Agency, for instance, is giving grants to firms. So they have youth-focused grants, women-focused, high-growth SMEs and others, and they are giving good money to the firms that you guys work with. The Venture Capital Trust Fund is also working with fund managers to provide them support under the GATP. NEIP will continue to collaborate with ESOs in our programs in areas of training and capacity building for our startups, running of incubator and accelerator programs, monitoring and evaluation of our beneficiaries, and other possible areas of partnership. We are currently working with the ecosystem to get an act to support the operations of startups and also to drive innovation in an ecosystem. And this is happening under the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology to ensure that the many research findings that we have lying there is a proper agency which is going to suit the commercialization of these research findings to help us move most of them, some of whom are even in prototype stages, to the market to help solve our socio-economic problems. Let us continue to collaborate as government and private sector to build a robust ecosystem to help create unicorns we need to develop our economy. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kofi Ofosun-Kansa, the CEO of NEIP. I think he said some very key things. He mentioned the fact that there is an $18 million fund that is going to be focused on business acceleration growth. Thank you so much for the hard work that you are putting in. We are really grateful for all the efforts to grow the ecosystem. Now we are going to move into our breakout sessions. And I'll be very grateful if you could just please take notes of these few instructions. So if from where I stand, we have 3 sets of tables to my right. So if you notice that the tables have been arranged in a way that it's aligned in 3 different ways. So you have 1, 2, 3. So each line is going to form a breakout group. So we're going to have breakout 1, breakout 2, breakout 3, breakout 4, breakout 5. And then the last 2 tables that are not aligned in a row of 3 will join those at the fringes to also form another breakout. Please, is that clear? It's not clear? Okay. So if from where I stand, we have 1, 2, 3. It's aligned. That's 1 breakout. So you also form a breakout session with this table. And these 2 here would form a breakout session with those at the back. Great, because I had a no from here. Thank you so much. So please, if we could kindly just start forming our breakout groups, that would be very good. So we have breakout sessions. And we are going to have people that are going to come on board. Ken David will start for us, give us a background of the first question that we are going to be looking at. And after the breakout session, we please encourage that each breakout group should have someone who will be taking notes on what you are discussing. We will give you a flip chart. After the session, you would come up here and do a quick presentation of what your breakout group came up with from the various discussions that we had. And at the very beginning, I told us to put on our thinking hats. We want to come up with actionable plans that we can drive for the next year. So please, if we could kindly merge our tables and form our breakout groups, that would be so great. I'll call on King David to give us the first directive.
Okay, thank you. So we are waiting for people to collaborate on their tables. The key word today is collaboration. So each breakout group would receive a flip chart, a sheet to be able to record your thoughts and the suggestions that comes up. So please, once it starts coming around, kindly make use of this flip chart because it will be very essential during your presentation. Because there will be a feedback session after the breakout sessions. Do we have the flip charts? Okay. So they are bringing them here. Yeah. So as I hope we've all settled, as we wait for the flip charts, this session is going to focus on the progress on our action plan. Like has already been mentioned, a lot of reference have been made to the 2022 forum, and we want to ask ourselves how relevant these points or action plans that were developed during 2022 forum, how relevant are they still in the scheme of things? So in the 2022 forum, 4 key things were thought about. Are we all together? Great. So during the 2022 forum, we prioritized these 4 areas that we're going to make progress on them through our actions. The first item on our agenda was to design a pooled fund for ESOs to enable sustainable financing. And when the report was given, we heard about the progress of about a $16.5 million fund that is being set. The second agenda was to pilot quality improvement program using the skill diagnostics. Again, we've mentioned that we'll be able to have access to the skill diagnostics for our activities. Third, we set out our objective to grow the ESO Ghana.org platform to enable all businesses to find the appropriate support as well as the wider adoption by the ESO ecosystem stakeholders. And we began by the launch where we said everybody should take their phone, scan, and then share. And finally, our goal was to collaborate to create a shared language for the ESO ecosystem and explore other areas for collaboration to grow the sector. So our goal this morning is to reflect on the action plan, these 4 items. And each group, okay, so we have 6 groups. So first 2 groups will focus on one question. Second 2 groups will also focus on the second question. And then the third, so we have group 1 and 2, you focus on one question. Group 3 and 4, you focus on one question. And group 5 and 6, you also focus on one question. So these are the questions we are going to focus on for group 1 and 2. As we we have reconvened and we are looking forward to 2024, do these priorities that I mentioned, the 4 priorities I just talked about, do they still capture the most important aspects for our ecosystem in 2024? In 2022, we established these priority areas, which I'm going to run through again, to first design a pooled fund for the ESOs to be able to enable sustainable financing. The second goal was to pilot quality improvement program using the skill diagnostics. The third priority for us was to grow the ESOGhana.org platform to allow businesses to adopt this for the ecosystem. And finally, to collaborate through the creation of a shared language for ESO ecosystem and explore other areas of potential collaboration to grow the sector. These were the 4 priority areas that we looked at coming into 2023. So the question now is, for Group 1 and 2, or Breakout Groups 1 and 2, these priority areas that we established, do they still capture the most important aspects for our ecosystem going into the next year as we walk out of 2023 forum? These 4 areas, do they still capture the most important aspects? This is a thought that we want you to start thinking about, put them together, and let us know whether they still capture the priorities going into 2024. Then for Group 3 and 4, we are asking what crucial priorities are missing that could be added. Aside these 4, are there any crucial things that we think are missing that we should add it on? Then finally, for Group 5 and 6, our goal is to answer the question, how can we effectively mobilize ourselves through collaboration to achieve success? We've talked about a lot about collaboration, especially around ESOs. How can we collaboratively mobilize to achieve the success of these priority areas that we've set for ourselves? So we have 10 minutes to quickly put our thoughts together, and after this, we'll have the next session, and after the whole thing, we would have our presentations. So please try and create some space for each of the questions that you'll be answering. After 10 minutes, there'll be a switch to another session. So our time starts now, 10 minutes. So Group 1, again, do these priorities still capture the most important aspects for the ecosystem? You might want to justify. Yes. Yes, so we have 10 minutes. Let's try to capture. Okay, so the questions have been presented on the screen. So for Group 1 and 2, you are answering question 1. Group 3 and 4, you're answering question 2. And Group 5 and 6, you are answering question 3. Yes, please. You have 10 minutes, please. So just a note, each group should kindly have a team lead and a rapporteur who would record everything on behalf of the group. Like we said, after the entire session, we're going to have a presentation or presentations by each group. So please, let's have a team lead who most likely would be the one to represent you during the presentation, and a rapporteur who will be making the notes. And as we choose 2 people per group, try and create a good balance. The young versus the not young, yes, gender balance and all of that. We want to see a good balance. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so I think we have 5 sets of questions.
You record, and then who report?
Each one? No, we're doing only
I'm done that.
But
I'm done that. I'm doing close now.
There's no, the time is
She's not seeing the page.
It's the second page.
Under the breakout session, it lists 3 there. On the next page, there's 2 more. And it looks like what you ran through verbally, but the actual forum. Right, so there's 3 there, and then 2 at the other top of the page, but the 5th one is... It's just what? So they are highlighted by good. So we know these are the highlights. Breakdown.
Yeah, so that's why so meaning our 10 minutes just for starting.
Okay, let me resize that now. Yeah, I think but no, it does give you a sense of what they are, so I think we can brainstorm what else.
I'm proposing that we have the speaking coaches of them. We go into subgroups of what training, so that at least each group can come up with one collaborative way. So that is our question. How can we collaboratively mobilize to achieve success? So in each group, we are expecting that at least we get 1 point, so that we can have
platform to enable all businesses to find the appropriate support, as well as wider adoption by ESO ecosystem stakeholders. 4. Collaborate to create a shared language.
If you have any questions, feel free to call. You're welcome.
Hi everyone. So we need to be wrapping up on this conversation. We have just 1 minute remaining. Let's wrap up, put our thoughts down because we are switching to the next level of the conversation. And we'll have our moderators come into our groups and let us know the next leg of the discussion we have. So if you are yet to complete this one, kindly wrap up on that conversation and then move into the next breakout topic. So you'll have your moderator each, and then Femi for group 5 and 6 will be coming to you
We are
shortly.
the super delegates. We are the super delegates. We are a big yes group.
And please let's remember we are recording our presentation on our flip charts, the sheets that we've been given. That's what we're using.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll say, when you speak, I'm saying that I did.
So what is the other thing?
So once we're done with them, we'll merge with this group for each to take one group had a question about the ESO
Will raise their hand, so I will just appoint any group to volunteer to start. Great. So group 6, the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. Group 6 is coming first. Oh, a round of applause for group 6. If this was the examination hall, we would have said stop work, bring your sheets. But please, we are not taking the sheets, but stop work. Yes, group 6. You have an award for presenting first. Oh, a round of applause for group 6. And each group. Oh, the group members are not collaborating. Group members, you're not collaborating. Yeah, good. So each group. Great. Each group has 3 minutes per presentation. Or let's say 5 minutes for the 2 presentations. So 2.5 for the first one, and then 2.5 for the second one. So please let's pay attention as group 6 presents. So after, they're going to present on both topics. All of us had a chance to present, to put together our first question and the second one. So 2.5 minutes for each of the presentations. And when they are done, each group is going to have the opportunity to answer one question from the other groups. So please, just one question per presentation. So when they are done, we have one question coming up. So group 6, which this is the first presentation. Okay. And the first presentation you looked at was how can we collaboratively mobilize to achieve success, right? Yes. So group 6, your time starts now, 2.5 minutes for the first one.
Okay, my name is John Nani. I'm a senior analyst from FinCap Securities. So we are here to, present on breakout session 1, how we can collaborate effectively. So our first question was on to design a pooled fund for ESOs to enable sustainable financing. And we mapped out a few points here, and the first one is to have an agreement, a legally binding agreement on how funds are going to be used, and then also to determine funds and to determine how funds will be disbursed. It's important to know beforehand where the funds will go, and then also have a working group or committee to help with, sit on how funds are going to be earmarked. Also, it's important to map out KPIs or targets for, the fund disbursement. So we stated that, and then so anyone a fund is earmarked to, or any program the fund is earmarked to, will provide quarterly or annual reviews. And then there's going to be a due diligence for recipients of funds as well. And then also a monitoring and evaluation plan for those who receive funds. Secondly, how skill diagnostics and quality improvements. That was for question 2, pilot quality improvement program using skill diagnostics. And that is to link funds to establish professionals to help out with the use of the funds. We also mentioned that funds should be earmarked to attract talents to support the hubs. And then knowledge sharing also is a way to improve collaboration. So we stated that, for hubs to come together, share knowledge on stuff, help each other out, and then also capacity building for key management of hubs. It's important that the people at the forefront of running affairs in funds or in the hubs are up to the task that they have been given, and so it's important that we build their capacity. And then also investments in research and collaborative research to guide hubs in their day-to-day activities. We also pointed out that there should be psychological training for hub staffs and the entrepreneurs that come to these hubs for help. We've seen stories of how a business is on the brink of collapse, but because of a certain psychological disposition, the entrepreneur is able to turn things around. And so we thought it wise to add psychological training, because even having a certain disposition for say 25 years, and then all of a sudden you have to reroute your life plan, it's not something that you can do overnight. And so a certain psychological training is important to get that done. And so that's that for the second question. Number 3 was on how we can grow the ESO Ghana platform to enable all businesses to find the appropriate support, as well as wider adoption of the ESO ecosystem stakeholders. And we mentioned that regular meetings are important to gather feedback from users and entrepreneurs, users from ESOs and entrepreneurs, and then also co-creation of discussion platforms and improvements. This is linked to the regular meetings I mean, where people will come up with, I mean, new ideas and innovative ways to improve their platforms. We also mentioned that there should be provision for external experts and resources to contribute to the advisory engagement, and then also regular survey to platform users. We also mentioned, I mean, a certain provision be made for, I mean, market research for entrepreneurs. Sometimes you have a great idea, but without any research backing it, you may start in a place where you ought not to start. And so it's important to help, I mean, entrepreneurs with some market research. And then for the fourth question, to have a common language to improve collaboration and to grow the sector. And we came up with a standard, we should have a standard definition and glossary for participants of the network, because I mean you find that different ESOs have different terms for the same thing, and sometimes it gets confusing. So it's important that we have a common dictionary of terms that we can all understand or we can all relate to. This is for breakout session. Our second question, or our second engagement, was on breakout session 3, and that was mainly to mapping visibility and enterprise mapping and visibility. And our first question what should the ESO collaborative do to make it more useful to the ecosystem? And we mentioned to enable the hub communicate via the platform. There should be a certain communicating platform on the platform to enhance communication and collaboration, make the platform more interactive, because we realize there are a lot of WhatsApp groups that people don't use. You hardly even go to your basic school WhatsApp group because it's not interactive. But if we want to make this useful, it should be interactive, and then add the onboarding manual on the platform to help anyone who wants to onboard, just they can access the manual remotely and just onboard without an external help or without any help from the platform owners. And then also to increase sponsorship and investor visibility. It's important. If I know as an ESO, if I know that if I go on this platform, I'm going to get investors, or I'm going to get sponsors for my program, I would frequent them more, because then I would help people to push my cause. And then also to have the ability to ask questions and improve engagement on the platform is also important and a useful tool. And then entrepreneur verification for what programs are owned by entrepreneurs, and then tag people with programs that are going on, and then track ability to track which program is going on which date is important. Real-time information on investors, because as an ESO I'd also need to do a due diligence on the person who claims they have money and they want to sponsor me, and so that should also be included. And then a sensitization and awareness program, and then also to make information on the platform illustrative, include charts, pictures, other illustrations, and then link have a TikTok link to videos that people can upload of their programs and stuff. Thank you.
A round of applause for group 6. I think that would be the Einstein group. They have so many ideas for us. Thank you so much. So just a question. Do we have one question for them? Any question for them? So are they acquitted and discharged? A round of applause for group 6. Sure. So this is group 4. Okay, the uncalled group. They came by themselves, but we are glad you came. So please, you have 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. They did 3 minutes. Okay. So with group 6 done, I'm even scared to present my own. But I think what we were tasked to do was to look at the 4 priority areas and then decide whether there are other relevant things we should include to those priorities. And so we came up with these 2, as you see here. And the first one is certification, and we feel that there should be some certification program set up for ESOs so that it would ensure that they are operating with some common standards. So that's one. The second one is research. We are doing a lot of things. What are we learning from it? What data are we gathering and reporting on impact? So we should consider some type of a research on all our programs. So that's it for the first question. Now the second assignment for us was to now look at the common language and then answer a couple of questions on it. So based on those questions, we were supposed to look at the relevance of the common language and also to look at the benefits of it. So for us, the 2 questions is what we addressed here. We felt for it to be relevant or beneficial, then for us, it provides healthy collaboration if we have a common language. It reduces negative competition. I think we've spoken of issues of competition among ESOs during this program and how that is not helping. So if we have a common language, it will reduce that. It will enhance performance among ESOs because you are all adhering to a common form of communication, a common standard you are seeking to achieve. So your performance would be enhanced. It will facilitate a process for ESOs to team up and then put together proposals and implement projects that would support the ecosystem. It will help ESOs and the entire ecosystem to measure its impact because we know what deliverables we are looking at, what milestones we are all commonly seeking to achieve. And so we'll do that. It will also drive investors for both investments for both ESOs and entrepreneurs, because once we are able to measure the impacts well, we are communicating the same thing, then investors would see reason to be able to support us and support our entrepreneurs. So that done, we looked at question 3, which was seeking to find out how, where's that question at all? Anyway, so there's currently a bill in Parliament regarding a startup policy, which is yet to be passed anyway, but we feel that we need to begin to look at that bill again. It has been, I'm told, on the table for over 4 years now, so we need to look at it again and see if there are certain clauses in there regarding common language, because if we are talking of common language now, and that bill gets passed, yet it doesn't touch on anything related to common language, then we wouldn't be making progress at the legal front. And then the final part was how ESOs can work together, can collaborate better, and we feel they can do that by sharing resources. And when we talk of resources, we all deliver workshops. We have workshop venues. If I'm an ESO, I should be able to go to your company and use your space for my training at a subsidized fee. I can be able to use your trainers as a subsidized cost. You can use mine and all those stuff. So let's share resources. That's basically it. Thank you.
A round of applause for our legal group. They are focused more on a bill. Thank you very much. So we have to go for lunch now. Yes, if I don't let us go for a lunch now, I'll be heckled. But we just want to allow for the last group. And the arrangement is that we would have the workshop from between 1:20 to about 4 thereabout. After that, we'll have the last part of presentations. So we want to have any group that is ready and can commit to do 2 minutes. They can commit to do 2 minutes. Yes, please come. Oh. There's already somebody here. So sorry. Oh, a round of applause for them.
Our task was to how can we collaborate to mobilize, to achieve success, sorry. And we said that we should define our goals and objectives as hubs, as ESOs. We should look at continuous improvement and learning. And for that, we said we should have meetings in the regions and in Accra or in the cities in the regions where they are not so close together. They should zone themselves so that they can be meeting maybe every 3 months, every quarter, every half year, so that we can, when they meet, they look at capacity strengthening, networking sessions, and leveraging on ESO expertise for synergy and growth. We also looked at leveraging on interregional and geographical partnerships to execute programs and projects. We're saying instead of moving from one region to another, if you have a contract, let's assume you have a contract with MTN, you don't need to move from one region to another. You can leverage on the other ESOs that are there to implement the project for you. And for the other one, we said our major point is that we should make ESO a brand that's prestigious. So if we all agree, we should have on our billboards, on our media platforms, we should have a member of ESO, just that circular thing on it. And once we all have that, it will help the general public to know who we are. Some of us, the names of our hubs don't even tell people who we are and what we do. But as soon as we put a member of ESO, it kind of should bring some, ring a bell of what we do, and then it should project some prestige and some visibility, and it should also validate what we do as ESOs. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for them, please. Oh yes, they did very well. Oh, a round of applause for them. They stuck to the 2 minutes. I almost said the summary group, but I would say the branding group, because they said we should put ESO branding on our billboard. So a round of applause for everybody. Thank you so much. I think the session is getting more exciting than we anticipated. Unfortunately, we have to go for lunch. But lunch is not an unfortunate news, it's a fortunate news. So when we step out, we will be directed as to where to go for lunch. But can we agree to really have only lunch and not networking? When we finish and we come back after the 4 p.m., we can have our networking. So let's try and come in. Can we do 1:20? You know, I was told 1:10, and I negotiated for 1:20 now. So if you take it to 1:30, can we agree to do 1:20? So that even if you are late, you can come in at 1:21. So thank you very much for collaborating and agreeing on lunch at 1:21. And let's see you right after here. So please, when we go out, we would be directed as to where lunch is. Thank you very much. Let's be on time. Okay, so the lunch is at the restaurant, but if you don't know the place, you'll be directed right away.